Do you have any regrets? Is there anything that you would like to go back and do over?
Not too much. I feel pretty good, so I don't have any regrets about my health or the way I treated myself. and I do say treated myself. I don't have too many regrets, honestly. I often wonder if Randy Bachman hadn't left the band in 1970 and we had stayed the same lineup, where it might have ended up. I often wonder that, but when Kurt Winter came in, he and I immediately hit it off as songwriters, so that was kind of, again, quote-unquote, meant to be. Not too much. I wouldn't change too much. I never knew my dad, and he was just not the coolest guy in the world, and he left when I was about 11 months old. When I was little, that bothered me. And then when I got to be about 8 years old and the kids stopped teasing me about not having a dad, then they grow up to a point where they realize it's not your fault, and then that was okay. But those first few years at school, when you have to stand up and they ask you, well, what does your father do? And you have to stand up in grade 1 and say, well, I don't have one. You know, that's kind of tough sometimes. But really and truly, I wanted for nothing when I was a kid. And I grew up in Winnipeg in the 1950s, which was like Leave It to Beaver with wheat fields. It was just I lived alone with my mother and grandmother, this little kid and two women, and we never locked the doors at night. So I had a pretty good childhood, you know. There's not much I would change, not really.
And what do you consider to be your greatest achievement?
That I'm still here tonight and people showed up to listen.
And you do have a birthday coming up, December 31st?
Yeah. Well, it's kind of neat being born on New Year's Eve, but one of the unwritten rules is that you have to go into show business as a profession, you know.
My son was born on December 31st.
Really?
Does that mean he has to go into show business?
I think it does.
Okay.
And besides, we all know that Capricorns rule the world anyway.
So what are you going to be doing for your birthday? Where are you going to be celebrating? And
this year, probably stay in LA and swim and take some sun and go to the supermarket with no socks on. See, growing up in Winnipeg, I take great delight in going to the market in January and not having to wear socks. Probably stay in California this year, and then come the new year, we may start working on another album and probably go out and do a lot of touring dates. Once this album has settled in with people and they are more familiar with the songs and they want to hear them live, then we'll go out and work quite a bit next year, I think.
Absolutely. We're looking forward to that. So as a listener, above the ground, we're going to wrap up here in just a minute, but above the ground, for a listener, where do you want it to take them? Where do you think it's going to take them?
Oh gosh, that's a loaded question. I don't really know. I do know there's a broad spectrum of lyrics and thoughts on this album. I want it to be a nice journey, and one of the reasons I put so many songs on there is I just want people to get lost in it. Just put it on, let it play all the way through. And hopefully there won't be one cut that makes them jump to the next one or take the record off. And I think that's all I can ask for as a songwriter, is that someone will put it on from the beginning, which is Crazy If You Mess With the Gods, and leave it play right to the end of Above the Ground, which is the last cut. That's my goal right now. Everything other than that is a bonus.
Do you think you'll be doing that? Above the Ground is the new CD. If I'm not mistaken, everybody here got a copy tonight. Did you not?
Oh, you did?
Yeah, they did.
Wow. By the way, then, if you do have them already, when you go home and, well, you know, obviously listen to the music, but I mean, watch the DVD that Lil Sarathian did. It's remarkable footage, and it will show you at times how arduous it is to make an album. It's not all just you walk into the studio and plug in and sing and play and go home. And you know, there's tense moments in there, and you can see people losing their patience, and there's a lot of tension, and it's just, that's what happens when you're spending weeks and weeks and weeks, 12-hour days in the studio. It's nerves get a little frayed, and you'll see a bit of that on there, and you'll see some very funny stuff too. There's some really funny behind-the-scenes stuff. I think it's a great package. I'm nothing but kudos to Sony BMG. It's an absolutely beautiful package. The lyrics are all there. There's a nice booklet, and I'm thrilled to have the making of DVD along with the record in the package. I think it's people, if they really like what I do in any way, shape, or form, they'll have a good time with the whole package.
Well, we are thrilled to be able to be here with you tonight. We enjoy it.
Thank you very much. I don't know what to say.
Well, it's been wonderful. Do you know that there are folks here that came all the way from Calgary to be here tonight?
God,
they came all the way from Sudbury, Timmins, Sault Ste. Marie. You guys are here, yeah?
I'm very flattered. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm very flattered.
So we wish you all the best with Above the Ground, and I know that you got to go, but before you go, do you think they'll sing another song for
I
us?
could probably coax the
Can
boys
we
out.
coax them into singing
If
another
the crowd
song?
makes enough noise.
I'm not sure that's enough noise. A little bit more noise. Ladies and gentlemen, Burton Cummings. Burton Cummings, ladies and gentlemen. Now, before I disappear here and let the band take over, I just want to let you know that CHFI Loyalty Club members, we have for you autographed pictures on your way out. Unfortunately, not for the guests, just for the winners. And also, we want to let you know the folks from Calgary, Sudbury, Timmins, Sault Ste. Marie, Kitchener, thank you for being here tonight. Your stations will have those pictures for you. So, ladies and gentlemen, please, one more time, how fabulous was this man? Burton Cummings, we love you. And we love the Burton Cummings band, so I'm going to let them take it away. Thank you so much for coming tonight. You guys are
Oh, right. No, I forgot.